from Twin Flame Tribes, and today we're going to do something amazing. We're going to give you a test to see if you're psychic. It's an easy test, so no worries, you don't need any tools or anything like that. We're just going to look at one simple little thing, and that is, are you psychic? So the first thing I want you to do is take these 3 fingers right here, and then I'm going to get you to put those 3 fingers on your wrist. Do you feel a pulse? Then you're most likely psychic. Now, as much as I think that was kind of a funny little ruse for you, I'm going to go through some stuff today to help you understand that being psychic just isn't something that one or a particular group of humans have. Everybody has the ability for precognition. And the other thing I'm going to tell you some stuff about, which is probably what we're going to start with here, is the fact that science is finally accepting this and is looking into people who have precognitive abilities and what the extent of those abilities are. So let's start to look at talking about that last point. So I've got myself a little talking point picture here, and I want to tell you some of the things that I found, even with a quick amount of research. I'm going to try and make sure that all of these links are posted for you underneath the video. I may not get them all because, well, I have about a bajillion tabs open right now, so it's sometimes hard to sort through everything. So the first thing we're going to look at is one of the most famous studies that has happened in the past 10 years, and it's from Daryl Bem. Daryl Bem took 8 years and 9 experiments with more than 1,000 participants, but the results offer evidence that humans have some ability to anticipate the future. Now you can download his PDF on all of his research. Again, the link will be down below, and I'll leave that there for you. There's a couple of other things that I ran across while I was looking at this here. We got Julia Mossbridge's new book, and Julia Mossbridge is also a fellow in the Israeli Institute. The Premonition Code, the Science of Precognition, presents what she claims is evidence that can hone your ability to see into the future. So there's a interest in looking into all of this, and I really wanted to show you that it's not just, the term would be crazy people who are seeing that humans do have a certain amount of precognitive power. It's also the scientists. Another really interesting paper that I've been reading a lot on is the Stargate archives. The Stargate program itself was a program that was instituted by the CIA in 1972 to help humans hone their ability to be psychic and to be able to understand information not only from remote viewing but also from deep cosmic information. It's a fascinating read. Again, I will leave you a link to those particular archives. By Carly Smith, PhD, can healthy young adults uncover personal details of unknown target individuals in their dreams? Now, this is another fascinating look into how groups of students were able to actually look into other people's aspects of their life, their health, and things like that through dream work. So that one particularly interested me, although I didn't get all the way through the article, I must admit, because most of these are very, very long articles and would have taken me hours to read. And Princeton, one of the most famous universities in the world, uh, has a section that's called Engineering Anomalies Research Scientific Study of Conscious Related Physical Phenomena. Again, that is one that I'll leave you the link to because I think these are all fascinating and good places to start if you're wondering how it is that you're going to become psychic. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some of the exercises that I did in my teens with a group of individuals where we were trying to hone our particular abilities. Okay, and again, you won't need much for tools here, and I'm going to introduce this and give you, let's say, the beginner's lessons on how we did it. So the first thing was that we practiced an interesting little thing where we would put ourselves in a room that had no wind, no gusts in it, and we would do our meditations. And often before or after we did our meditations, it depended on what our fancy was that day. What we would do is we would light a candle, and sometimes even the candles in the jars work really well because wind or breath doesn't really get in there. But what we would practice doing is actually practice bending the flame. And so what you need to do there is you need to focus on the flame, and then you would focus on it, feel its function and everything like that, and then you would try and get it to tip right or left, or forwards or backwards even, but try and get that candle flame to tip on its own. And that's an ability that's going to help you build up that muscle up here. It's going to help you to allow that part of your brain to function and to give you a little bit more muscle so that you can move on to more advanced things. Another one of the easy activities that we did was to pick up a pack of cards, right? Just a pack of regular playing cards. And what we would do is, when we first started out, instead of trying to figure out exactly what card was next in the deck or whatever, what we focused on actually in the beginning was just the particular color. What's the particular color of the next card that's going to come up? And I can say that we eventually, all of us, and there was about 7 or 8 of us in the group, all of us were able to score more than 50% on this kind of an exercise where we would just sit down with a deck of cards and we would obviously shuffle it up really good, put it down on the table, and then it would be red, black, red, black. And obviously sometimes it would be black, black, but it would be an exercise that all we're focusing on is the color. And as you go through that exercise take 5 or 10 minutes a day as you go through that exercise, all you have to do is focus on what's the color. And then when you feel like you're getting a large amount of your guesses correct, the next step there would obviously be to focus on the suit. What's the suit that's coming up next? Is it going to be hearts? Is it going to be diamonds? Is it going to be clubs or spades? Right? So just sit there and say, okay, this one's going to be a clubs, and flip the card over. Right? So these kind of mental exercises will help you with the next step in developing your psychic abilities, your precognitive abilities, because the exercise with the deck in particular is one where you are focused on your precognitive abilities, where it's like you don't know what's underneath that there and you're just flipping it over. So while it may only be a quarter of a second, you're still jumping a quarter of a second into the future to be able to see what that card is as you lay that down. So these are two exercises that with a little bit of practice, and sometimes for some people it's going to take only a couple of weeks to get that right, and some people may have to go for a little longer, maybe a month or more. But eventually what's going to happen if you practice this exercise on a daily schedule, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, you can start pumping up that muscle to be able to exercise your brain and allow yourself to expand the amount of neurons in your right brain to be able to jump that little step in the future. I hope you found this interesting, and I hope you found perhaps maybe take up some of these exercises here. I'm so glad that you were able to join me today and go through these little things and learn a little bit, and hopefully I can learn a little bit for you. If you've got any little exercises that you've been trying or that maybe you perhaps want to try, leave them in the comments below. We'd really like to see what you have to say. And also subscribe, and we'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much. See you later.